Let's start with a question. A simple one, but it gets to the absolute core of what it takes to succeed. Just think about it for a second. How can you possibly hit a target you can't even see?
Welcome! Today we are diving deep into the incredible wisdom of the one and only Zig Ziglar. We're going to unpack his powerful, step-by-step method for hitting pretty much any goal you can set your mind to. Okay, so before you can even think about where you're going, you have to do something most of us, let's be honest, actively try to avoid. You have to figure out exactly where you are, right here, right now.
And this is a huge point Ziglar made. We get so caught up in dreaming about the future that we're actually kind of scared to take an honest look at our present. But you know what? That fear is the very thing that keeps us stuck. I mean, it's the most basic rule of navigation, right? You can't chart a course to your destination without a starting point. This isn't about judging yourself. It's just about getting the data you need to build a realistic map to get you where you want to go. So once you know your starting point, how do you actually build that map? Well, Ziglar didn't just talk in big ideas. He gave us a concrete, hands-on formula to turn those dreams into reality. And this brings up a really important distinction. A dream is great, but it's kind of passive, isn't it? A goal, on the other hand, that's active. It's a dream that you've given a solid foundation and a real set of instructions. And this right here, this is that foundation. Ziglar's method is all about asking 6 key questions. You start with the why. What are the real benefits of making this happen? Then you get real about the obstacles. From there, you figure out the how. What skills will you need and who can help you get there? And finally, you build a concrete plan and, this is a big one, you give it a deadline. Now here's the kicker. This whole formula is really a test. If you can't answer these questions, then your idea is still just a wish, kind of floating out there without an anchor. But once you set that anchor, Ziglar had a surprising tool to help you stay on course. Okay, so you've figured out where you are, you've used the formula to set a real goal. What's next? Well, Ziglar's advice at this point might surprise you. It's not about hustling harder. It's about getting quiet. And here's why that's so important. Get this. Ziglar pointed out that a mind-blowing 90% of doctors' visits are tied to stress in some way. Stress just clouds our thinking, it drains our energy, and it makes it basically impossible to focus on our goals. Quiet is the antidote to all that noise. And I know exactly what you're probably thinking. Be quiet? Seriously? I barely have time for the stuff I have to do. It's the most common objection out there, and Ziglar had a brilliant and, let's say, slightly provocative answer for it. He made this really bold claim that you can create an extra 3 hours in your day, guaranteed. I know, it sounds impossible, but his logic is actually shockingly simple. So where is all this magical time hiding? Ziglar had a very specific target in mind, the television. He noticed that for over 70% of the time people are watching TV, they're watching stuff they don't even really care about. That time, that's your goldmine for quiet and reflection. And practicing quiet isn't complicated at all. It's not about an exercise walk. Ziglar called it a slow, lazy, drifting, absolutely meaningless walk. Or maybe it's just getting up 30 minutes earlier to just sit. The key is to simply be with no agenda. And he knew this would be hard. The second you try to be still, your brain will just scream at you with a to-do list a mile long. The real work, the real discipline, is just to gently resist that temptation and come back to the quiet. So, let's recap. You know where you are. You have a crystal clear goal, and you're using quiet time to stay focused. Now let's tie it all together with a story Ziglar loved to tell, one that just perfectly captures this whole idea. Let me introduce you to a guy named Howard Hill. By all accounts, this man was the greatest archer who ever lived, a true master of his craft. I mean, just look at these numbers. The guy was undefeated in 287 tournaments. He could literally split one arrow with another. He hunted the most dangerous animals on Earth with just a bow. The man was a legend for a very good reason. Now, this is where Ziglar would lean in and make this absolutely outrageous claim. He'd tell the audience that in just 30 minutes, he could teach any one of them to be a better archer than the legendary Howard Hill. And then came the punchline. He could do it, but only under one very specific condition. You had to blindfold the master first, because even the greatest archer in the history of the world cannot hit a target he cannot see. And that brings us right back to where we started.
If you haven't evaluated where you are, if you haven't set a clear, specific, well-defined goal, you are, for all intents and purposes, blindfolded. And the most important question isn't about archery, it's about your own life. How can you possibly hit a target you don't even have?